Yeah, you. Want to read a spicy male romance? How about a kinky hot male romance? We got what you're looking for. Stick around to learn more. Happy Pride, and welcome to Reader Seeks Romance Channel's Romance Roundup, the #1 romance book recs talk show. I am Liz Donatelli.
And I'm Libby Kay, author of the new release When Sparks Fly, out now from Inkspell Publishing.
Libby and I are talking about the male romances that had us panting for more. I don't know. That burned a hole in our underwear. Libby and I are talking about male romances not for the faint of heart. Yay!
That works.
Forget it. I'll figure that out later. Watch Romance Roundup on Reader Seeks Romance Channel and subscribe on YouTube. Listen to Romance Roundup on PodBean and all podcast apps. And follow us on Instagram at LibbyKAuthor and at Reader Seeks Romance. Hello, Libby.
Hello, Liz.
I don't even think we need to bother with any chit chat. Let's dive right in.
No foreplay, right to the action.
Yeah, no foreplay, right to the action. Libby, let the roundup begin.
Giddy up, Liz. Here we go. So this is not a new name if you've been listening and watching the show for the last few months, but this is a new one for me from this author. So the one I'm talking about is One Time Only by Lauren Blakely. Writing is L. Blakely. So this is obviously not a surprise if you've been paying attention because I'm kind of obsessed with her and I'm going through her back catalog, so to speak. And this one's actually from November of 2020, but I can assure you there is nothing COVID related in it. And it may be surprising, it's not a hockey romance. I know that usually that is where I gravitate towards, but this one, it is a celebrity normie. We have a bodyguard rock star situation, which is freaking fabulous.
Oh, I love that. Oh, I love that combination.
You'll love this. I swear you will. And this is one of the ones I was reading and I thought Liz will love this.
Oh, well then I must pay heed.
Yes. And eagle-eyed listeners who have heard me gush about Teddy Hamilton on the show will be delighted to know that he is one of the narrators. So you can have your Teddy Hamilton moment while listening to a very good story. I really don't have any trigger warnings for this. It's just, it is very spicy. So I'm just going to read the blurb on the back of the book because it's short and I'm feeling lazy on this lovely Monday evening. Ever hear the story about the bodyguard who falls for the rock star? Yeah, it never ends well. Each day, I remind myself it's my job to protect Stone. And nowhere in the job description does it say I should lust after the charismatic, charming man, especially since we're opposites. But every night I spend with him as the dangerous, off-limits attraction grows more and more intense until one night in a limo when we combust. And can I just say as a side note, giddy up. But one time only will have to be enough. One scorching, forbidden night. Because the mistakes from the past are chasing me, and if I give in again, I'll lose everything. But sometimes you grab hold of that desire, and other times the desire takes hold of you, no matter the cost. I just freaking loved this book. I listened to it in less than a day. It consumed me for that day. It's more than just, I mean, yes, it's a spicy book, but the electricity is palpable between Jackson and Stone. Yes, it has a lot of the cliches with bodyguard tropes, but these feel like three-dimensional people because I guess there are trigger warnings. It talks about grief and it does talk about like family dynamics. So if you have maybe a questionable relationship with your parents or you've lost a loved one, you might want to take heed with that because there actually is not a trigger warning for those. But those are the backstories that make Stone and Jackson feel like real people and not just, two guys banging a lot. I don't know. But the thing I liked about this is, and again, I did the audiobook and I checked online and it says that you can get the print that includes this extra, but there's bonus prologues and bonus epilogues. Now, the audiobook I got had everything included, and I actually think it made it better because I think there was like an hour of the prologue, and it really goes into their backgrounds and how they met, because the book proper starts when he's already been hired as his bodyguard. But that 1 hour prologue, which I think when I looked online was like maybe 30 pages, that really adds to how they met and the chemistry. So if you are going to find it in print, see if you can find the one that includes the bonus prologue, because I think that really adds to how Jackson and Stone meet, because it's a fun, meet cute. There's great chemistry right off the bat. Obviously, it's a romance, so it's going to have a happily ever after. But Elle Blakely makes you work for it. There were some moments where I knew it was going to be fine, but I'm like, oh God. And I think that's why I listened to it in a day, because every time I'd step away, I'm like, oh, but I gotta know what happens because it's, and I don't know what the trope for this is. I know we've talked about this before, but the whole just one time to get it out of our system is such BS. It never works, obviously. But it's so
Yeah.
fun to watch them pretend that it will.
Right, right. I believe it's bang it out of our
Yes,
systems.
the bang it out.
Well, this definitely is up my alley.
Yes, I think you will really like it. And if you've read, you or anyone has read any of her other books under her L. Blakely pen name, they do have some references to both of these characters in other books. And then she kind of does a little shout out to other characters. Like they meet one of the baseball players at the very end when they're going on a date, like little things like that. So there's nice little Easter eggs if you have kind of, like me, been sucked into the vortex of L. Blakely books and just can't seem to find her way out. So
Right.
I will say again, though, read if you're going to pick up one of hers randomly, check to make sure it's not in the middle of a series because everything that she seems to do under this pen name is the same couple throughout. So if you pick it up in the middle, you're going to be like, what's going on here?
See,
So,
I
but that's
don't
why this
know.
is great because it's a standalone. And so you can just enjoy it and move on with your day.
Yeah, I can't do, not that I can't do, but I don't prefer to do multiple books about the same couple. I want to move on.
I totally
Yeah.
get that. She's the only person with these duets that I'm like, good Lord. Like, I wish there was more. But no, this
Yeah.
one, the way she wrote it was perfect. Everything was perfectly wrapped up in a little bow.
Okay.
So yeah, but I highly recommend if you're in the mood for something spicy this Pride Month or anytime, One Time Only by Lauren Blakely, writing is L. Blakely. It's been available for 5 years.
It's been available for five. Oh, that's very clever.
Yeah.
When you say spicy, I want to kind of get a metric on that.
I
So,
mean, to me, now compared to, I've read a couple dark romances in the last month, so I feel like I would have said this was a 5 out of 5 chili peppers. It's probably a 4 compared to some of the dark romances. Um, I don't know how to say this without being weird. There's a lot of like fluids.
a lot of fluids. Is there a lot of
Yeah.
cockadoodle do?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Everybody's doing everything. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
So,
And yeah.
honestly, this reminds me of when my sister asked me if I ever watched the show Mindhunter, and I said yes. And she's like, "How crazy is it?" And I said, "Not very." And then she called me after the first episode and said, "Are you well? Because I just watched the first episode and I'm traumatized, and I want to know why you're telling me that it's not that crazy." So I feel like it might be that people, I feel like the general public would probably think this is 5 out of 5. And I'm going to give it 4 out of 5 through the lens of I've been reading a lot of dark romances lately. But if you don't read very smutty books, I would think you would think this is a 5 out of 5.
Got it. Okay, that is fair. Well, I look forward to checking it out.
Excellent. So Liz, what spicy MM romance has kicked off your Pride Month? I'm dying to know.
Oh, sweet good golly, Miss Molly. I devoured and freaking loved The Menagerie by J.P. Caruso. It released May 13th. I bought it shortly after it was released. Published by Dream Spinner Press, which is a known LGBTQ publisher. I discovered JP's work through Rainbow Readers Discord, which
Oh,
our favorite author, Logan Sage Adams, introduced us to. So I joined and I sat in on an interview on Discord with JP and heard about it. I was like, I gotta read this book. I kept thinking about it. When I wasn't reading it, I kept thinking about it. So the Menagerie is a BDSM male romance set at a kink club. Most of the scenes are there. And the author, J.P. Caruso, was actually inspired by characters Ian and Mickey on Shameless. I don't know if you've ever seen Shameless,
no,
but
but I know who you're talking about. I've seen clips and things.
I've seen so many clips online that have been served to me on Facebook that I feel as if I've watched all of Shameless. And specifically, there are just clips about the love story between Ian and Mickey. The deliciousness of their chemistry is captured in the Menagerie.
Come here.
The Menagerie by J.P. Caruso is a compelling exploration of BDSM, trust, and the slow evolution of friendship and love between two complex characters. To be honest, if I wanted this book to be 1,000 pages.
Good, really?
I wanted it to be 1,000 because, like it says in the description, the slow evolution of their friendship and romance, it's like you were living it with them. And I was like, I want to keep going. I want to see what else they do in and out of the kink club. So here's the gist. Rowan Campbell is a paramedic with a past of casual hookups. When he responds to a 911 call at an exclusive BDSM club, the Menagerie, Rowan immediately becomes a member. Rowan soon meets, actually, Rowan then meets on his first day of his membership, hard to please club veteran Malcolm Severin, and he is infatuated.
He immediately becomes a member. Did he help the person he was there to help before he filled out the application?
Oh, I didn't realize how that sounds. Yes.
I feel like he's like giving CPR and he's like, can I have a membership for application?
Yeah, no. He made sure that person was well.
Okay.
And then did some research and then came back and joined. Yeah, actually, that would have been funny.
Yeah, I just
as they're willing the person out.
But...
So this is what you'll find in The Menagerie by J.P. Crusoe.
Okay.
Mental health rep, dub-som relationship, 100,000% safe, sane, and consensual. A sexy Boston accent, which I never thought I'd say as a New Yorker who does believe that the New York accent is superior to that of the Boston accent. But okay. I found it was kind of sexy. Daddy issues. A bacchanalia meet cute. So the meet cute that happens relatively like pretty soon in the book. Rowan and Malcolm meet in a scene at the kink club that's been planned and all that. And there's multiple people, multiple men. It's a male bacchanalia in which Malcolm receives pleasure from many. I'm just going to say that. Many meaning several, meaning 10. Because now I'm thinking people could think it's like 100 people. So 10 carefully chosen, vetted individuals join Malcolm in the kink room, and that is when Rowan is invited and there's chemistry. I'm just going to say
shenanigans ensue.
Oh, shenanigans times 1,000 is what really was going on. Now, aside from the very descriptive scenes in which there are, as you said, fluids, there are fluids indeed. Yes. There's so much beautiful connection between Rowan and Malcolm. Their love story is just like, it's just so captivating. And to see the couple, go from two people protective of their hearts, not expecting, not even seeking out love, but finding it nonetheless. And, they both have, their own baggage that they're dealing with. It was just beautifully told. And there was a lot of graphic scenes in the kink club, but it's part of their romance journey as well.
Which I think that, and saying the word nice sounds like it's not the right word at all, but I think that it's nice that it's not just gratuitous for the sake of being gratuitous. It's actually showing the bond and the connection, and it's part of their journey.
Absolutely. This is where two people who have a certain amount of trust issues build a core trust with each other through their activity at the kink club, and it extends to then other parts of their relationship. And I just, I fell in love with the two of them as a couple. There were so many swoony scenes. There were so many hot scenes. If you were someone who has read a lot of BDSM, male romances, and you read a lot and you love it, and you want to also learn more in depth about the planning of kink scenes at a club, and you're ready to like know more and learn more, then definitely give the Menagerie a read. If you're new to BDSM, any type of BDSM, I should say, if you're new to reading about BDSM, and you're new to BDSM between two male partners, maybe maybe build up to this particular book because it might seem very shocking if you're not familiar. I have read a lot of BDSM in my day, and I read a lot of male romance, so I felt ready, and I felt like by my standards, this is even hot. Like this is hot, hot. So
Oh, dang.
I
So,
would
I
get,
mean, I
yeah,
said out of 5. I mean, are you going to give it like out of 10?
I'm gonna give this a bushel
A
of
bushel of peppers.
hot chili peppers. But there's so much emotion, there's so much romance like between the two of them, and it's romance that's just specific to them. As far as like romantic gestures, it's not what you would call traditional romantic gestures, but it's what's romantic for the two of them.
There's obviously a romance and a connection and a tenderness that, resonated. So,
Absolutely. That was well stated, Libby.
thank you.
That was well stated. I wholeheartedly recommend The Menagerie by J.P. Caruso. And I learned that JP is currently working on a male pirate romance. So I'm
Ooh.
excited about that. And I don't think it's historical. I don't know. It has to be historical, right? There's no
Unless it's
modern.
like the Somali pirate.
Yeah, I don't think it's about. Yeah, so it must be
I'm
historical.
hoping it's historical.
That could be too real, I think, if it's
Mhm.
Somali pirate ship situation.
Look at me, sure. I'm the captain now.
And that's our roundup. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Watch Romance Roundup on Reader Seeks Romance channel and subscribe on YouTube. Listen to Romance Roundup on PodBean and all podcast apps. Thanks for joining us, romance readers.
Happy spicy reading, everyone.